中島さんは今何をおっしゃいておりますか。あなた遅いです。
Okay, the next film is A Million Ways to Die in the West. I must point out to the critics of this movie that a lot of the critics in this movie claim they heard the voice of Peter Griffin from the Family Guy television series. You know, if you're going to sit there and you're going to write about a movie or critique a movie, then at least watch the TV show you're talking about so that you know what you're talking about. Nowhere in this movie do you hear the sound of Peter Griffin's voice from Seth MacFarlane, the creator of the Family Guy. It is Brian, the black and white dog, whose voice you hear, because that's the natural voice of Seth MacFarlane, and that's the dog's voice as well. That's the voice you hear. So if you're going to write critiques about this movie, at least watch the Family Guy so you know what you're talking about. Putting that aside, yeah, I did think about Brian the dog at the beginning of this movie as it went, but then Seth MacFarlane's voice changed in tone somewhat so that I didn't hear Brian's voice so much and didn't think about him, didn't think about the dog so much. But yeah, if you watch Family Guy, you will think about that. But it was incredible how much, as I was watching this movie, that Seth MacFarlane's face looked so much like Stewie's face. I mean, you're going to notice that as well. That's a major distraction throughout the film, making this comparison. It doesn't detract from the film at all. Another special note is Seth MacFarlane very wisely used a character actor by the name of Matt Clark. And if you watched the old westerns from the 60s, 70s, 80s, you're going to see Matt Clark in almost every single western going. He played the old prospector that gets shot at the beginning of the movie by the bad guy, the prospector who has the gold. Matt Clark is, it's like you can't make a western without having Matt Clark in it. If you watch the Clint Eastwood movies, you will always see Matt Clark in there. Like in The Outlaw Josie Wales, when Josie Wales walks into a bar, I think he's wounded or after a gun battle, and he walks into the bar to have a drink. That's Matt Clark you see there, apparently the bar owner in that movie, even though they don't have any alcohol in that bar to sell. Putting all that aside, this is an excellent film. The comedy it's like an alternate universe western. That's the only way I could describe it. It's as if in this alternate universe, mankind's progress is extremely slow to the point where his technological progress is like 200 years behind, but his sociological progress is modern day. And perhaps Matt, the character Albert played by Seth MacFarlane in this film, is a time traveler, because he seems to know much more about westerns and the way the West went than he should know, because he seems to look at it from an alternate perspective that can do an overview of the entire West, which nobody back then could. This has a lot of humor in it. People laugh, but not hilariously, but they did laugh throughout this film. Everything in it works. Yeah, it's a lot of, if you like burlesque type comedies, there's somewhat Monty Python-ish in this film. If you like burlesque type comedies, you're going to love this movie. Yeah, it's a lot of dirty humor going, but that's Seth MacFarlane's humor style. It's burlesque. And so if you like Family Guy, you're going to love this movie. I do recommend that to those who are looking for this style of film. It did work on that level. I don't really see a comparison. I'm going to go against the critics once again because I don't see a comparison between A Million Ways to Die in the West and Blazing Saddles. I just don't get it. I have seen Blazing Saddles. My father actually got me to watch it a couple times. I don't know how they came up with that idea. You will like this film if you... Do I recommend this movie? You see, I'm not really into that kind of humor. But, yeah, if you want to laugh, you will enjoy this movie. It is not a family film, more like a dating picture, perhaps. The comedy works. Yeah, people are dying all the time all over this film, but yeah, it's like it's like an alternate universe western, that type of thing. Don't go in there expecting like a Clint Eastwood style western because they're just way too modern in their languages and their approach and the way they look at things.
中島さんは今何をおっしゃいと言いますか？あなた遅いです。